Hey Goombas, welcome back to the channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I caught myself the other day wandering off. You know, it happens to all of us, and I think it happens more and more as you get older, but wandering off into some memories, you know. And I was thinking about South Philly, and I think a lot about South Philly, the old school South Philly, and growing up here and things like that. And you know how special it is. You guys know how special it is because you're from South Philly. But I was wondering, like, it happens all the time. What's triggering me? And I realized that when I walk the streets, when I'm out for my walk or just traveling through the streets, it generates old memories of, oh, I used to be there. I used to do that there. I used to be that, you know, there. And the streets are what triggers it for me. The streets are very special in South Philly. The streets of South Philly. Hey, Goombas. All right, so this is Wilder Street. This is where I grew up. This is where I spent my childhood. Good old Wilder Street. I know it's just a street, right? But streets mean much more to us than other people, right? I mean, these streets are where we spent most of our time when we were young. There was no phones and stuff like that. There was no video games. We were out playing with our friends and spending time with our family on little streets just like this all over South Philly. And if you didn't live on a small street like this and you lived on a main street, you would go to a small street and play with everybody. That's what you did. I mean, we would play street games all day long. Jailbreak, punch ball, slap ball, wall ball, wire ball, tag, dead box. All these street games that we would spend most of all day, really. Before you knew it, you had to go inside. We were out here all day playing on little streets just like this one. You know, you don't see much more in South Philly. You don't see much of it anymore. From time to time you do. Block parties. It's when you would get a permit, close off the street, turn on the fire plug, everybody got wet, brought out their grills, everybody cooked, and you stayed out there all day long. The old people would bring out their little televisions, put them on the steps, and watch the Phillies game. That was my house right there, 1216. That's where I grew up. And right here, they would bring out a pool. This is way before my time. They would make this makeshift pool and put it in the middle of the street. This was my grandfather's house was there, my grandfather, and this was Didazine. And my grandmother used to come out and sit on the step with Didazine all the time. So the Catholic Church in this area was a big influence in South Philly. And what they used to do is in May, they used to have these things called May processions. I don't know if you guys remember that. You know, the girls used to get dressed up in these white holy things, and guys used to put suits on, and they used to march up the street. This is the school I went to, Annunciation, and they would march up the street, and we would go up here, up Garrett Street, and march all the way to the church. Yeah, so we would walk all the way up the street, all the way to the church, and it was good. It was a way to get out of school. That was me, I was planning my escape the whole time. I hated grade school. And then, of course, guys, there were corners, all right? Back in the day, we all hung out on corners. My corner was 12th and Dickinson, and then there was like 12th and Morton, and, you know, be just different groups of people, different kids that would hang out there. This is later, like as we got older. We would hang out on the corners, and I remember, you know, sometimes you'd have to fight other corners. It was always stupid stuff. But I remember the older people always saying, "Thank God you guys are out here on the corner," because they felt safe to come out of their house at night and walk to the stores and stuff like that, because they knew that we were there, you know, and then we would help them. So we're kind of like our own police, and we never really, I can't even say that. The older guys before me, if you rob somebody around here and you weren't from around here, they would beat the shit out of you with metal trash cans. Remember the trash cans? They were metal, they weren't plastic. I remember seeing that. This guy from out of the neighborhood tried to rob this lady in South Philly, right on the corner here, right at 12th and Dickinson. And those guys back then in the 70s beat the shit out of them. Bernalino's is still there on my corner. That used to be Joel Bates. That used to be Pop's Pizza. And there used to be mailboxes, 2 mailboxes, one green, one blue, right here. And we used to sit on them. We used to sit on those mailboxes and hang out all day long, all night long. Met a lot of girlfriends on this corner. Met a lot of bad girlfriends on this corner. Had some fights on this corner. But even when you had fights back then with people, especially guys, if you had a problem with a guy, you fought him, and then the next day you were best friends. It was over. It was none of this, what happens these days. So it was a different time back then, right? You had problems with people, you had disagreements or different views of things, and that's all it was. But you were more exposed to each other then. And I don't mean that in a dirty way. But I mean, you were more exposed. You actually talked to people and met with them and hung out with them and realized, okay, they just disagree with you, but they're still good people. Not like today. Not like today with social media. You have one opinion, then everybody hates you, and you just forget the personal aspect of everything. People are good. People are good, people are bad. It's getting to know them that I think is missing today. It's just, nobody gets to know each other anymore. I think that's sadly missing. All right, let's see if this looks familiar to you guys. This look familiar to anybody? Huh? This is a special little section of street here. I'll help you. This is the street that Mr. Rocky Balboa walked up. This was the deli, and this is where he picked up little Marie, and they walked all along this street on 12th Street. This is 12th Street between Jackson and Snyder, and they walked all the way up here. All right, you remember this, guys? Go watch Rocky, you'll see. And then they get to the corner here, and then they, oh boy, that's a hell of a park job. Man, I would be so pissed off. Oh geez. Anyway, they come in here, and then they walk through this gate all the way to a house across the street where little Marie lives, and that's where she called them Creepo. Screw you, Creepo. Just a little street trivia. So before I go, guys, I just have to fulfill a promise I made to a new friend, and then we'll end this video. So a new subscriber and a new friend of mine asked me to stop by her, I think it was her grandmom's house, at 1231, and I'm not gonna say the street, but there you go. My promise is fulfilled. And listen, if you guys want me to stop by any place that is memorable to you, just hit me up in the comments. I'll be glad to swing by and take some video for you. So to all you guys that always say that South Philly is not the same anymore, you're right. It's not the same anymore. But that's not what you should be thinking of. I don't like to tell people what they should be thinking, but maybe take this angle. Come down here again. Walk the streets of South Philly and bring back all those great memories you had here. And when you think of South Philly, those memories would be the ones I would want in my brain, not the way it is now. All right, Goombas, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks again. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Peace.